In episode 8, Victor has decided to heed Simon's advice and come to visit him in New York City. He writes Simon saying, "Hope you're ready, I'm coming to crash on your couch," and he forges a fake permission slip from the basketball team to give to his parents. Both Armando and Isabel have no idea what the hell he's talking about, but he plays it off as, well, I'm sure you guys just forgot because of the whole fighting situation going on in our house. Hey, here it is, I found it, and they sign off on this fake basketball trip that in reality is Victor's excuse for why he won't be there the weekend. And after a 22-hour bus trip, he finally arrives in New York City. Unfortunately, he arrives to a message from Simon saying, "I really wish you told me. I'm not there. I'm in Jersey for a bachelor party. But not to worry because I'm sending somebody else you might be familiar with, Bram." Bram takes him to his apartment in Brooklyn and introduces him to his roommates. And they're all gay. And it's a lot for Victor to take in. And Victor lies to these people, telling them that he's visiting NYU to check out the basketball team. The college counselor at the school set it all up because they all went to the same high school. They invite him out to this club called Messy Boots that night, and they explain how it's a drag thing and it's fun. And Victor continues to say, "Yeah, it sounds like a good time, but I have all this stuff to do." And that's when Bram steps in and says, "Let me come talk to you for a second." He pulls Victor aside and says, "Why did you just lie to them?" And Victor tells Bram, "I don't know them. I barely know you. Simon is the only person I've told, and I'm not ready to open up to a bunch of strangers that I don't know." And Bram completely understands. He forgot how hard it is to come out even around other gay people. And Victor apologizes, saying, "I'm sorry. I know I came out here to experience gay stuff, but it all feels so..." And Bram cuts him off and says, "Gay? Yeah, I understand. Come with me." And he takes him to a basketball court where they play pickup, and Victor realizes he's not as good as he thought he was. But it's an eye-opening experience for Victor because he unknowingly just played a full game where everybody was gay. And Bram explains to him how you can be different kinds of gay. You can be butch, you can be jock, you can be drag. You can be all of that, but the one thing you can't be is afraid. He tells Victor, "You came here to belong, and I have an apartment full of gay roommates who would love to accept you for just being you. So don't be too scared to let them in." They head back to the apartment, and they're mentioning the drag show that night, and Victor asks, "Why do gay people love dressing up in drag so much?" And that's when Simon and Bram's one roommate named Justin pulls out his phone and says, "Here, this was me 3 years ago. I was in a very religious family and I was miserable." And Justin in the photo looks completely different. Joining a religion that I knew wouldn't accept me, that was dressing in drag. And that's when Victor decides to let them all in. He tells them how his parents are also religious, not like Justin's, but they're religious. And he worries about how they would act if he came out that he was gay. And it's a really emotional moment for Victor, and they all can sense it because they've all been through it, and they give him a big hug. They head out to Messy Boots that night, and they're all having a good time. One guy even hits on Victor, but Victor is too oblivious to realize it. And one of the roommates says, "Don't worry about it. We'll make you forget all about that Benji guy." And that was a mistake because Victor noticed that and says, "How do you know?" And then he realizes that Simon must have told all of them, whereas he thought it was a private conversation between just him and Simon. But in reality, all of these people knew the entire time. They just played dumb. And Victor is enraged and he storms out of the club. And when he does so, he actually runs into Simon, who abandoned the bachelor party to come hang out with him. And he yells at him, saying, "I trusted you. I thought what I told you stayed between us. But now I realize you've just been sitting around with your friends laughing at my expense." And Simon says, "Whoa, that is not what happened at all. Look, man, when you first messaged me, I was touched. And I know you want me to be this guru who has all these answers, but the truth is I don't. And I don't want to tell you the wrong thing or make your life any harder than it already is. And just like you told me in your first message, we're not the same. So I never had a girlfriend, but Bram did. And my parents aren't religious, but Justin's are. Every one of my friends had a little bit to offer. They weren't laughing at you. They were helping you." And Victor asks, why would they want to help a complete stranger? And Simon says, "It's because you're not a stranger. You're one of us." To me, that's the best part about all of this, is having that community, having a group of friends who gave up their weekend to help a kid that they've never met because they know what he's been through. Victor then kind of makes a joke about, is it always this cold in New York? And Simon gives him his jacket to remember the weekend by. They then head back into Messy Boots, where the group welcomes him back with open arms. He dances, he has fun, and he even gets called up on stage for the drag show, where they ask, "How's your night going?" And he says, "It's the best night of my life." Now, some people that didn't have as exciting of a weekend as Victor are all of his friends. They got caught texting in class, and the teacher was in a bad mood, so she punished them to Saturday detention. And Lake is still trying to keep her romance with Felix on the down low, but while they're waiting for the teacher, Mia notices that she has a hickey, and she plays it off like she burned herself with a curling iron, but her hair's straight. Felix shows up a little late as he was instructed to do so by Lake and immediately starts getting razzed by Andrew. And he takes it pretty personally. He gets upset about it, understandably so. And the teacher splits them into groups with Andrew being with Lake and Felix being with Mia. And as Mia is cleaning up some graffiti, she randomly tells Felix, "Did you know Andrew and Lake are hooking up?" And this is a huge surprise to Felix. Felix then excuses himself, walks up to Andrew and says, "Hey, the teacher wanted us to switch." And Andrew is completely fine with that. And then he accuses Lake of hooking up with Andrew, and she says, "What are you talking about?" Felix says, "Cut the charade. Mia told me everything." And that's when Lake realizes that Mia noticed the hickey and assumed that she was hooking up with Andrew and not Felix. And the truth is, this jealousy streak in Felix is kind of turned her on a little bit. But Felix tells her, "I've been trying to play this cool because I don't want to mess this up, but I'm starting to feel like you're super embarrassed about me." And Lake says, "No, not super, just kind of medium." Felix asks if it's the Lone Stone nickname, and Lake says, "Well, it doesn't help." Lake tells him that she'd love to keep doing what they're doing on the DL, but Felix just shakes his head and walks off. And later that day, when Andrew makes one more Lone Stone joke, Felix loses it, telling Andrew that he's a bad person. He's a jerk, and it's not funny. Nobody's laughing with him. People are laughing because they don't want to be his next victim. And it gives Andrew a lot to think about. And while Felix was going in on Andrew, Mia kind of confronted Lake about the quote relationship with Andrew that doesn't exist. And Lake is amazed at how much Mia cares and says, "What's the deal? Why do you care so much even if I was?" And Mia tells her all about the night where Andrew kissed her. She then also comes clean on her virginity and how she actually lost it to Andrew and not some random guy at camp. And because Mia was honest with Lake, Lake is honest with Mia and tells her while she's not hooking up with Andrew, she is hooking up with Felix. And Mia's in her corner saying, "It's about time you liked an actual nice guy." When the group gets back together, though, Andrew walks up to Mia and asks, "I'm a nice guy, right?" And Mia says, "I think deep down you're a nice guy, but I don't think that matters much when on the surface you're just a total jerk." And as those two were having that conversation, Lake walks over to Felix and she apologizes, saying, "You're not embarrassing. I'm sorry." She tells him while she's not ready for everybody to know, she did tell Mia. They then get let go, but Felix noticed that Andrew is actually graffitiing on the wall, which is what they just cleaned up. And when he goes to look at what Andrew wrote, he's happy to find that Andrew has written, "Felix has massive balls." Plural. Now, back at Victor's home, his family is playing Monopoly when his mom has booked her first client. She wants to head to the mall to get some outfits and invites Pilar, trying to have some girl time with her. And to entice her to come, she says you can get whatever you want. And Pilar has picked her cartilage to get pierced. And Pilar is thrilled, giving her mom 3 hugs. And Armando warns her, "You give that mouse a cookie, she's going to want a whole glass of milk." And he wasn't wrong, because when they go to get her cartilage pierced, she got her cartilage and her tongue pierced. And that wasn't a part of the agreement. When they get home, Armando is playing the "I told you so" game, and Isabel says, "I just wanted my daughter to like me again." And Armando doesn't know what she's talking about, saying, "Pilar likes you," and she says, "No. Ever since we told the kids about Roger, Victor's been able to get over it, but Pilar hasn't. She doesn't even look at me the same. And she doesn't know what you did, so right now, I'm the only bad guy." So Armando goes to talk to Pilar, asking how she's doing because lately she seems so angry. And Armando makes this impassioned plea to her to forgive her mom, because her mom has already suffered enough. And Pilar asks, "Well, have you?" And Armando says, of course, but he was definitely taken aback by the question. Although Armando's speech worked, because Pilar comes out and rests her head on her mom's shoulder and the two watch TV together. Thank you for watching this recap. If you do not see the next one up in the corner right there on the end screen, don't worry, it'll be up shortly. Please consider following the channel. That'd be cool. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, there's a thumbs down button for a reason.